Welcome to Mitten Music.
Season 4, Raw, Live, and Authentic. Episode 32 with Jon Hayes, singer-songwriter out of Kalamazoo.
I think we have a guest tonight, Jeff.
You wouldn't know it though, right?
Let's bring him in. Let's bring in
Real quick.
the one and only Jon Hayes.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh!
Thank you.
Yeah. Singer-songwriter from Kalamazoo. It's hard to hide him. He's got a great personality.
Our software usually lets us bring the camera on, but apparently it updated itself and doesn't do it anymore. But well,
That's
news
funny.
to us. But hey, Jon did a great job of improvising. So
Hey, there we go. Literally, when you guys started laughing right as it turned like 1 second before the recording, I'm like, this is perfect. That's like the perfect way to start a podcast. You
That's
know?
right.
I always
Yeah.
love those candid moments on those podcasts where you're like, dude, what were they just talking
Aw.
about like 3 seconds before they hit record?
right, for sure. Yeah, all the
Exactly.
behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah,
how are you?
welcome. It's been a while. I first met you, Jon, back in, we were just talking before, I think it was 24 at the Battle of the Bands
Yeah.
at the Stray.
Yeah.
I just went there to go check out some good music, and you happened to be sitting next to me, and then you went up and played and came back, and we chatted a little bit and had a good time, and really enjoyed the show. And what I will say is, from what I've heard of you so far, you give me that John Mayer-esque feel in your own way, right? You make your
Cool.
own music, and but you're very personable to the audience. Like you're very engaging, and I think that's why a lot of people like you a lot. I think that's why your audience, it attracts you to your music as well. It's not just the music, but it's just your personality.
That's super sweet. Thank you for saying that. It's very kind.
Yeah.
I want to say that when I first listened to you, I was like, this guy sounds like Bon Iver.
Oh, I can
lucky-
understand that. Yeah.
Lucky enough, I mean, whatever, it might have been on your website or it might have been something else I was reading later on, the comparisons with John Mayer and Bon Iver. I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that hears it. I love that. That there's just that atmospheric piece to it that reminds me of him.
That's super
I love
cool.
it. It's
Yeah.
cool.
You know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Bon Iver was. I started calling him Bon Iver when I first
Yeah,
discovered
I think
him.
everybody did. I mean,
yeah, everybody. Yeah.
I will not lie. We had to do Google pronunciation on his last
Yeah.
name because I always said Bon Iver, and then several people have corrected me over the years. I'm like, are you sure? Are you just saying that because you think it's the other way?
Right.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. It was right. They were right.
I feel like Bon Iver sounds cooler though. Like
Mhm.
I actually prefer Bon Iver over Bon Iver.
I kind of do too.
I'm like, okay, I get that it's like the whole probably French Canadian thing or something like that. but
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
Yeah, Bon Iver sounds cooler. But literally, you know, it's funny. I wrote Nursery Lie, which is the song that like has gotten Bon Iver, I said Bon Iver, Bon Iver comparisons before. And
Yep.
like, I kid you not, I don't think I even knew about the indie folk genre before writing that song. Like, I wrote the song and then I sent it to there's this lead singer of this band back in Massachusetts where I'm from, named Kevin Klein, and he's the lead singer of this band called Valley Heart. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it sounds like Bon Iver. Oh yeah, it sounds like Novo More or whatever." And I'd never heard of those guys, and so I start looking these guys up, and I'm like, "Oh man, I thought I made this super cool original falsetto thing." And it's like there's an entire music industry that's like all this all the time, you know. So that was a funny discovery. But yeah, that's actually how I discovered Bon Iver, was by writing that song. Yeah.
Sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That says even more. I think it's not like you can easily say, "Oh, he's just taking inspiration from Bon Iver." You know, you did it yourself and then found out. Like that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. I
Keeps
know.
you original, man. It still
Yeah.
keeps you original.
I appreciate that. Very
Yeah.
much.
So, Jon, you just mentioned you're originally from the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
And we've kind of adopted in the Michigan family as you moved here. And so, tell us a little bit about that, like story of starting there. How did music play into that, and then your
Yeah.
move to Michigan? What got you here?
Yeah, so my wife got me here. That's the short answer for it. Yeah, but I grew up mostly in Massachusetts, a little bit in New Hampshire. There was like a short stint for like 6 months where my parents, because of a job my dad got offered, we randomly uprooted ourselves and moved out to New Mexico for like 6 months, and then moved right back to Massachusetts again. So Massachusetts, New Hampshire for the most part. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of just a progression. I mean, I was lucky enough to go to, elementary schools and middle schools and high school where there was a jazz program, there was a, big band program, all these different things, guitar lessons after school and elementary school, all those different things. And my parents are like, huge music appreciators, and my mom's a vocalist, my dad's a vocalist. My dad was a clarinet major for 1 year at James Madison University, and then decided like I'm not good enough for this and dropped out. So he doesn't hold that that badge too proudly, but definitely a very like musical family, and I grew up in the church as well, so music was just a huge part of everything for me growing up, and yeah, the short of it, how I got to Michigan is actually through a Bible college that me and my wife both went to out in upstate New York. So that was Word of Life Bible Institute. And it's like right in the middle of the Adirondacks. You're about an hour north of Albany, or an hour and a half north of Albany. So you're like only 45 minutes away, hour away from the border, I think. So you're like up there, upstate New York.
Wow.
Yeah. And my wife and I met there, and then we got married like 18 months later. I moved out to Kalamazoo, and we've been here, for the better part of the past 7 years since we got married. So that's kind of the short of it. Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Legit reasons.
Yeah, definitely. So when was the first time you picked up a guitar, John?
To like seriously pursue learning it, I don't think we had guitars hanging around the house too often. I think my brother got given a guitar from my grandmother back. I would have been like, I want to say 8 or 9 years old, something like that. So I probably messed around with it a little bit, but he was very protective of it and like, no, Nana gave this to me. You can't touch it, would be my guess. And so it wasn't until I was like 10, I got my first guitar, I believe is like a Christmas gift. And then it was this little Rogue blue acoustic guitar. It was before I knew anything about what cool guitars actually look like. I was a huge Spider-Man kid, so I'm like, oh, blue guitar would be awesome, and so I had this little, at that point, it's like $100 guitar. It didn't even have a truss rod in the neck, I'm pretty sure. It was like that cheap of a guitar. And that's what I started learning on, and I started with an after-school program at my elementary school in 5th grade, and just started picking up some basic chords. And it was pretty much like, it wasn't like, oh, I learned how to play guitar, now I should try my hand at writing songs. It was like I learned my first couple chords and I like immediately started writing songs, as soon as I could like pretty much hold a tune and kind of have some chords and write some melody. And then probably a year or two after that, my brother and I were starting all these ridiculously stupid, basement bands that would play one show and then disband, and then we'd rename it and play one show and disband and do that for like 5 years, so.
Yeah. Hey, I just had a thought, John. What if I could produce your first guitar in 30 seconds?
Produce like?
No, I mean, produce it in front of your eyes so you can see it. Hold on 10 seconds.
Oh, no way. Oh, he's probably got one, doesn't he? The blue, if it's got a black pick guard and the little circle, all the little designs around the sound hole, will know it's legit.
It's probably just a knockoff.
Rogue's already a knockoff, man.
I know, a knockoff of the knockoff.
Was it something like this?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, is that a Rogue?
No, I think it's just a no name. But it was
like
it was about $100.
John, I told you.
Yeah, almost like that.
Something
like
similar.
The shoulders were a little different, but yeah, it was about that.
I had it right behind me the whole time. I thought it was in another room. I'm like, I think they have that $100 guitar over here. You're right, but I couldn't remember if there was a brand or if it was like an unbranded cheapo or something.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no, pretty much that. Like pretty much that. Yeah, that was my first guitar. The only difference was mine wasn't cool enough to have the exposed tuning heads. Mine was all like the behind the scenes Grover ones. Now the exposed tuning heads are coming back into style. Everybody's about having those ones.
Well, each of my other daughter has a red one, a matching red one. So I'm glad that they're on the right path that Jon Hayes was on.
Hey, there you go. Hey, you got blue and red. That's the Spider-Man stuff from my early days.
There we go. Spider-Man.
It's great.
Okay. Apologize for the disruption.
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So you've been just putting out music though since you've been in Michigan, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's funny, man. I think it took a long time for me to, I think, be be brave enough to be bad or not be great at it type of thing and finally put some stuff out. And also to be disciplined enough to actually like stick with it. I think I definitely come from a family of dreamers where like my parents, myself, my older brother Josh, we're all very like visionary dreamer people, which is cool because it's like you get a lot of creative ideas and you can kind of pull stuff out of your butt and talk for like an hour about it,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
but as far as like actually sticking with things, I think that's where sometimes we like fall short, is just in like the sticking with it. And I think it was finally after like years of, saying, oh, I'm going to do music but not really like having discipline to like save up money for recording time or like consistently play shows and like stick at it and do the thing people don't want to do, which is like playing the open mics and all these different things. I just didn't want to do those like paying your dues things. And so it took me until finally like 2018, my wife and I got married, where I, had a couple different situations. I finally just had to buy like a 2009 Mac Mini from like a surplus sale from Western Michigan University for like $50 or $100 just to have something to like run GarageBand on.
Yeah.
To just like, because I had to do like a church internship and I'd have like a nice Mac Mini. And then my internship ended. They wouldn't let me keep it. And so all my learning about mixing and starting to make demos and everything was like out the door. And I was like, I gotta find a Mac. And so that's finally the time where I started just like, putting in more time, just learning how to mix a little better, just learning how to arrange and demo things out. And then finally it was like COVID time where I started putting in time for just like learning how to mix a little better. So Nursery Lie, I mixed on my own, and I don't know. It was just kind of piece by piece. But even back then, it was still very much my cocoon phase type of thing, where I wasn't really doing things very consistently. I wasn't working very hard. I wasn't wanting to accept the low thing of like you got to just take whatever you can get and like do it. And so there's just a lot of different things I feel like God was doing in my life at that time. And then finally, it kind of really sparked off with I was working at a church as a worship pastor for like 2 years out in Northern Illinois, and I loved the congregation there, but I was miserable working underneath some of the leadership that I was working underneath. And yeah, just feeling like I was, maybe I was right, maybe I was wrong. I think there's evidence that like, yeah, there's definitely things where I dropped the ball in, but there's also things where I definitely feel like I was being asked to kind of sell a product type of thing. Hey, get everybody clapping on the clappy songs, and you're praying too heady in your emotion in your prayers. Try to be more emotional in your like all these different things. And so especially as an artistic person, that was just like soul crushing. Just to be like feel very micromanaged of like, don't do it that way, do it this way, stick to the system, stick to the all this different stuff, and also not trusting spiritually what I was being asked to do. It felt very dishonest. And so finally at that time, like I was like, you know what, I really feel like I'm not meant to do this. Like I need to be able to say what I need to say, whether that fits in the box or not. And of course, like my faith is important to me. I want to submit to the Lord well in these things, but also there's going to be some things that I probably say in honesty that may not make all of the Christian community totally happy, and that's not on purpose. It's just like I think sometimes the standards with like CCM and all those different things are kind of a little weird and a little funky sometimes. So I think coming out of that, I was really ready to like take things seriously. I also had a lot of kids at that point, so it's like if I'm going to do something, I have to do it seriously and actually try to make it into something and not just kind of mess around, and waste time, So
Well said.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, and I'm glad you did take the leap to put something out early, because Rest, one of your early songs, is one of my favorites of yours.
That's super cool.
Yeah, so I'm it is that thing of just getting it out there and getting the momentum going that kind of drives you. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
So back to the guitar questions.
Yeah.
What guitar do you have? Do you have a few? Do you have your favorite? What do you play typically?
Yeah, I have a few. I have like 2 acoustics and 2 electrics that I run for stuff. Right now, because like 95% of what I'm doing for making a living as a musician is like background stuff, where I'm just doing the gigging thing, playing in, pubs and wineries and breweries, all that kind of stuff. That's most of how I'm paying my family's bill, and that's most of what I'm doing musically right now. And so with that, it's nice. I use a Line 6 Helix, which I picked up for electric guitar stuff. I sold my entire electric guitar rig to pay for my wife's engagement ring. And so when I was looking to get back into it, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a Helix that like gets me everything at one time instead of spending $1,000 on an amp and then $500 on this pedal and then all of a sudden 4 or 5 grand later, it's like, well, you still need this one, It's like I was just like, man, I'll do that stuff later. Right now, I just need a workhorse that gets me all the sounds I could ever need. Gets me industry standard stuff. And so I did that, and so, but the good thing is, since I stepped into really doing a ton of stuff solo, that piece of gear has been really helpful for me, because you have such comprehensive like EQ and compression and all these different things inside there that I can literally run like a 4-channel mixer from the Helix. So I run my vocals and my guitar through there, go direct out to I've got a pair of like JBL Eon 615 speakers that I use for gigs. And so literally I just run that for my live rig. So most of the time that I'm playing, I'm using, it's like a Martin 000 X1 AE. It's kind of cheaper one. It usually goes for like $600. But what's nice is I picked that up at the end of my time at the church job. So I had like a personal ministry budget. They're like, hey, if you want to buy a guitar, you're a worship pastor, go ahead, go for it. I'm like, say less. I got it.
Sounds good.
So I got this sick deal on Reverb where that guitar brand new retails for like $600 at the time. He had some sort of like really well padded, kind of flight soft shell case, but it's like, neck bracing and all that different stuff, like fantastic gig bag. That's for like $100 to $200. The guy had put in an LR Baggs Anthem SL, which is like a $200, really beautiful true mic sounding pickup. That's part of how I get my looping tones and all the stuff of kind of rubbing on my guitar and everything. It's because that mic is so sensitive, it actually picks up the friction of my skin against the wood.
Sweet.
And
so for looping, you want that in there for looping. Yep.
For sure. Yeah, that's how I get like my shaker sound while I'm looping from my guitar. And so literally it's like $800 worth of stuff plus like $150 to get the pickup installed. He sold me the entire thing for $500. So I got like half price, and I was like, let's go, dude. So that's really great. It's kind of similar to like the whatever the what's it called? Like kind of the concert hall body or whatever, the one John Mayer's signature, that kind of shape. Yeah. It's not a dreadnought, kind of like a 3/4 guitar or something like that. But it's a good guitar. Yeah, it's a good guitar. I love it.
Sweet. So, that's cool.
Yeah, that's my main one every day for gigging day in and day out. So it's good.
Cool. Sounds great. I think I must it was one of your Dogtown live from Dogtown Studios Idols. You were doing some looping, and I was picturing that video with how you were describing him. Like he's describing his Idols live from Dogtown video.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's that guitar. I mean, literally, it's like that's my Helix, that's the Martin, and I mean, I've been using that stuff. I mean, I probably used it for like, I don't know, like 200 gigs at this point, or 150 gigs, something like that at this point.
It's worn in, well worn.
Yeah, very well worn. Got a couple cracks now, so.
Fair enough. That's cool, man.
So, John, you mentioned solo, and that's how I saw you play. But you do have a band now that's helping support you in your gigs. How'd this come about, and how did you find these guys?
It is super cool. I mean, so when I first started gigging, when I left my job at the church back in 22, I had like 2 gigs booked, and so I kind of put together this little summer tour of just like 6 dates across the course of a month. And then it took me until the following summer of 23 to finally I was doing full-time work for like a packaging company, running like, kind of box making machines. And then I was doing DJ work part-time for a wedding DJ company. And it finally led me to like, what got me to move over to music was my boss agreed to pay me a certain amount to almost make me kind of like a partner type of thing, using my own equipment. And then the last minute, he's like, "No, just kidding, I can't do that." So I was like, "Dude." So I quit that job and I just kind of put my eggs in the basket of like playing gigs as much as I could. And so that summer, I really started building things up. And it was at the end of that year where I met. I'm trying to think. It was at the end of. Actually, oh my word. It actually would have been before I started doing music part time that the first person from the current lineup we have right now, Daniel Mott, the bassist who plays for me, he's actually in Cordero, the other Grand Rapids band. So that's where I met him. He's actually at the Stray Battle of the Bands, and he was playing with Cordero. And I mean, at that time, it's so funny how like the perception of yourself changes over time, especially as you kind of mature and like level up as a musician in the area. At that time, I mean, I wasn't really playing any ticketed shows very often. I wasn't really building things up for myself. I was just barely starting to crack into like being the background guy. And so, I see Cordero playing, and they've got the in-ear rig and all that different stuff, and
Yep.
Daniel's killing it. Immediately, I was like, that guy reminds me of Pino Palladino, which is John Mayer's bass player, right?
Oh.
And then I play my set, and he's like, this guy reminds me of John Mayer.
John Mayer, yeah.
And so we ended up linking up. And I remember I saw him play, and I was like, I really want to steal that man from that band. Like I was like, I really want that guy. And I was like, dang it, he's already in this band. Like that sucks. And but it kind of worked out. Cordero isn't doing a ton of stuff right now, and so in the beginning, the reason I brought up the whole part-time thing is like in the beginning, I mean, it was a fantasy to think about having the money to pay guys, because I'm a solo artist and this isn't like a band as far as how the business is run. It really is like an artist and hiring on. It's like it's expensive, it's expensive when you're doing that. There's sometimes where people are buddies and they're just willing to help each other out, and they'll really do the local music thing, and you pay the drummer $20 or $50, and hey, I'll buy you pizza and a beer, whatever it is. But like for these guys, it's like, well, I'm trying to run this professionally, and I'm doing this professionally, and so these guys are also really good, and if you want really good guys to play with you who are also hungry and working hard at this, you have to be able to have some sort of a decent day rate, right? So, I mean, kind of where we're at right now at this current time is like we usually do about like $150 for a one-off, and then per guy, and then when we're in a tour context, it's like a $50 reimbursement plus like $100 a day type of thing, so kind of make it work that way. So at the time when I first met these guys, I was like, I would love to have them play, but I have no money to think about doing this right now. And then by the end of the year, I met my keys player, Simon. I played Goshen Brewing Company down in Goshen, Indiana. And same thing, I just saw him playing for this local guy who's opening for me, where he was just playing simple kind of pad-like stuff, but he had an organ with a real Leslie on stage, and it just sounded absolutely gorgeous. And I could tell just by listening to this guy, I'm like, he was not playing anything very complicated, but he was so tactful and just smooth in his sound.
He enhanced the sound.
Oh, just so much. And once again, I was like, I want to steal this guy from this band, And so, I took down his number, and I was like, man, I was like, right now, I don't have money to really give you a lot of stuff, but I'd love to take your number down. We can see how it happens. And it's crazy how things just evolve, So me, Simon, and then it was my friend Aaron at the time from my Bob college, who we all headed into the studio. Daniel was supposed to come with us, but he ended up getting COVID the day of the studio day back in, this was May of 24, I want to say, about a year ago. And so that was the first time I was really able to get these guys in a room and pay them for their services. And since then, it's just crazy. I mean, it's like things just start coming together where like as you meet these people and as your mind starts getting creative to go, how can we make this work? Other than just like, all right, go play a bunch of gigs, save up $1,000, and then then you can afford to lose $1,000 on the road. We just had different gig opportunities where it's been larger guarantees for band acts versus me doing solo stuff. And so all those different things have kind of just made it more and more possible to make it work in some small ways. Other than like Bells, that was just straight up like I was looking to really make a great live promo package from that. which we actually got a live record out of it, and we got it all videoed as well. So those are all live videos that we're using to hopefully hit up like the kind of the band shell concert in the park market next year, as well as the Michigan festivals. And so, it's just one of those things where that was just a straight up like, I'm gonna lose so much money on this, but I just have to like do it, in order to get the materials to then profit off of it later. So it's just been kind of one person at a time. And as I've met the people, I've started noticing some of the gigs that would allow me to bring these guys on and actually justify it financially, type of thing. So
you just gotta be smart about it, right? What pick and choose what makes sense for the band to be there versus you just doing solo, right?
For sure. Yep. Yeah, and then everything in between too.
Jeff, did we see Cordero in concert?
I've heard of Cordero.
And maybe we've talked about him, because I feel
Kevin
like
Ralph talked about them.
Oh, that might have been it. They were recommended for us to check out. Maybe, yeah, that's right. I thought that name sounded familiar.
Yeah, they're a tight pop act for sure. Like they're really tight musicians. I think they've all been playing together for a long time, and so they do a great job.
Yeah.
Nice. So I was just wondering what you got coming up in the near future here. Jeff, is that what you were thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. You started talking about the live album and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's coming out.
I will send you guys. I should have sent it to you earlier. I'll send you guys after we get off today. I'll send you guys. There's an unlisted link that if anybody direct messages me, I will send you the unlisted link. Right now, it's just an unlisted playlist on YouTube that we're using to kind of get some stuff out to promoters for next year, for festivals and town concerts and all that kind of stuff, to get us on the road as much as we can next summer. But if anybody wants to see a little sneak peek, they can DM me. But I'll definitely send it to you guys. Just don't forward it to anybody yet.
Fair enough. Right. Fair. You can trust us. You can trust us.
But then again, you say that and people do it anyways, and it's like, well, honestly, like, you're just gonna. Maybe I should make this really tantalizing. You better not forward it to anybody. Wink, wink. And then can blow up behind the scenes. So yeah, pipeline right now is. I know Jeff has been asking, like, John, like, when are you gonna like release more music? It's like it's been very, very slow, and that's been some of the maturing process for me too. Is just like finally having the budget and the discipline and all these different things to really take things seriously. And so this year we released physically the EP that I had worked on last year at the Bell Show. So we have CDs for those that I'll sell on the road, and I'll put up on my website soon for distribution through there. I'm holding on to those songs until we get another about 4 or 5 songs done, hopefully this fall at Local Legend recording there in Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
So that's where we cut the first one, and that's where we're gonna cut the next one too. That way we'll have like about 9 tracks, 8-9 tracks, studio stuff ready to go. We have about 12 live tracks from all the Bell stuff. And then I'm trying to see if I can squeeze out like probably 2 or 3 Christmas singles this year to help with the Christmas tour that I'm putting together out to Northeast and back. So yeah, I think it's like altogether it's like 20 songs or something like that will literally be released pretty much after we get past the Christmas season. The plan right now is like it'll be a single every 6 weeks from like January through whatever April, and then there might be a little pause, and then it'll be a song a week for the Bell stuff. There will be it'll be on Spotify first. We're not releasing the YouTube stuff. The main thing is I'm trying to like I've gotten good algorithmic response from Spotify with doing Facebook conversion ad campaigns, some light playlisting. The main thing I've been missing is just the consistency to continue to compound the algorithmic effect to really get the ball rolling, right? So, so that's the thing that we're doing. Is I'm making sure that we have built-in consistency by doing all the work ahead of time, and then paying for all of it ahead of time. That way, when I get to release months, all I'm having to do is float the bill for like $300 to $500 a month or whatever it is to keep up with Facebook ads and all kind of stuff to keep moving that stuff. Yeah. So a ton of music coming like 26 into like 27. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You talked about you have this EP and you haven't really released it to the world other than it's kind of a cool strategy, I think, because if you're at my show, you can get it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not, you can't get your hands on it. So come to a show, come see me, and you can get the songs early.
That's awesome.
And you don't see a lot of that, right? It's most of it's
Yeah.
like getting the songs out first before you even come up with an EP or an album. And
Yeah.
you're kind of doing a different way. And I like the strat. It's good.
Thank you, man. I appreciate. I think it's too. It's like I think I've really come to realize um what I'm trying to do with my release schedule, and even like with trying to take social media hopefully more serious and kind of try to take it one thing at a time,
Yeah.
is just realizing like, okay, people might get annoyed who like actually know me by seeing me post a reel every day or whatever. But it's like, okay, this is not for you. Like, if you like it, great, it is for you. This is for, well, I shouldn't say that. I'm actually kind of combating the two mindsets. One is like take care of your audience, and if you take care of your audience, things will grow, right? But it's also like there's also a certain level of consistency that's needed. So it's kind of balancing both of these things. Going, let me take care of my audience, give them what I think they want, but also like you got to play the game in order to keep on growing. So even with the Spotify thing, it's like the reason for releasing that annoyingly, of like, oh my gosh, another new song. Oh my gosh, another. It's like, yeah, that's how you get new people coming to you on Spotify. That's how you win the Spotify game, is by releasing a lot of stuff. And so, kind of my mindset is going, the people who really, really care about my music. It's like, if you really care about it, if you want to support me and like buy the EP for like $5 or whatever, then when you see all the annoying posts of, hey, the new song is out, oh, that's not for me. I don't have to get annoyed by that. It's like I've already had the songs for 6 months. This is to get new people in Jon's camp. That's one of the mindsets I'm kind of thinking about right now.
That is interesting. The consistency of releasing on Spotify, that you're cracking the code of like almost to the effect of, I need to release something every 6 weeks.
Yeah,
and
for
see
sure.
how far you can go. Like if you can get consistent doing that.
Yeah.
So starting with a bank of songs to be able to do that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing I've been missing a lot of times is like with 27, I put a decent amount of money into marketing that song through Facebook ads. And I was lucky enough. Have you guys done anything with like Facebook conversion ads or anything like that?
No.
No, yeah. I used to read a little bit about it, but never got into it.
There's this guy Andrew Salford that I've learned pretty much everything I've learned about that stuff from. He's on YouTube, and he talks about if you've got something like 40 cents per conversion, that's like okay. 30 cents or more, that's like good. 20 cents is like really good, and then anything below 20 cents is like excellent, right? Now, of course, people always argue about well, you're paying 20 cents to get somebody to stream your song 3 times and you're making a penny off of that. That means you're losing 19 cents. But it's like, yeah, but it's not about profiting in the short term. It's about profiting in the long term, and even building up your fan base. That way you can profit in other ways, type of deal. So Spotify's really like a growth machine in that way. And my goal is to make it both a profitable thing in and of itself, as well as have it spill over. It's like if you want to book shows, the easiest way to is to be punching above your weight class. So if you've got 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and 10,000, 20,000 followers on Instagram, all of a sudden, all the local stuff that I'm trying to book for ticketed shows, way easier, like way easier.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And there's lots of different ways of going about that. There's not like one size fits all, but I think where I'm at and kind of how I'm wired and what makes me excited is like, man, having passive income would make a lot of things that I'm trying to do a lot easier, especially as a dad with 5 kids and all these different things. It's like, that's kind of the path for me, is like kind of get some of the industry numbers and everything. And all of a sudden, all the independent booking stuff I'm trying to do to also like build up a fan base, have fun and just enjoy playing music, and also make a living, all of it becomes like 10 times easier once you actually have numbers to show.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Cool. That is interesting.
Yeah. This is stuff I'm like musing about like every day. So
when you take it, a lot of thought about it, and probably bouncing around back and forth in different ways and trying some different things. But it sounds like you've got after some time have got a plan, and it's and you're all in on it. So that's good.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, when you're taking something like this seriously, like any advantage you can get to, if you're having to spend time figuring out how a website works or how you should be releasing your music, if it's going to help you, that makes sense.
100%.
Good for you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
So speaking of live stuff, what do you got coming up in the next few weeks, months?
Yeah. So I'm getting to go on a short tour, opening up for a singer-songwriter named Abby Thomas from Goshen, Indiana. I think her website is official.abbythomas.com. We haven't announced just yet. We've had a couple different delays and snags and everything, so we'll be announcing it, I think, hopefully this week. So yeah, we're playing in Appleton, Wisconsin, Chicago, Grand Rapids. That'll be on September 26th. And then we're playing in Wabash, Indiana on the 27th. So big one for all my like West Michigan folks is love for you guys to come out to the Stray on Friday the 26th, which would be a lot of fun, So she's got a pretty good crowd in Southwest Michigan. This is her first time actually playing in Grand Rapids, so we want to give her a nice warm welcome.
That's awesome.
So, yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And I saw you're going to be on the east side of the state early September for the Arts, Beats and Eats.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah. So that's on September 1st, and Monday I'm playing from 3:45 to 4:45. There on the it's a community college acoustic stage. I forget the name of the community college.
Okay, that's in Royal Oak, right?
Yeah.
Area?
Yep.
That area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Royal Oak Community College.
Yes, I think so. Honestly, I think that's what it is.
That's the only reason I'm around, is to catch these little things. Just tie everything together.
That's awesome.
I know people are giving the festival crap in the comment section because they have Vanilla Ice playing or something like that, and everybody's giving them such crap in the comment section. Of like,
interesting choice.
Who wants to see this guy? It's like, ooh, it's
only
like,
if he plays the Ninja Turtles song from the movie, Ninja Turtles 2. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!
Oh my gosh!
I'd go see him play that.
I mean, seriously, it's like, besides like Ice, I have no idea. It's like, I feel bad.
He had other songs?
I know. Well, I'm like, dude, for that stuff, it's like, for some of these legacy acts, I yes, it's nice that you have one song that's still paying like all of your bills.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like, man, it's gotta suck when you go to play this. Like, you get booked for a 45-minute set, and nobody knows anything else, and they're like, play Ice, Freddy, play it. And you're like, come on,
thinks
man.
he can get away without playing it.
Oh my gosh, it's just like, and then you're just doomed to play that song every single show for the rest of your life.
Forever.
Man.
But when
Good
people go
stuff.
see Jon Hayes, that's not going to be the case. They're gonna want
Hopefully
more
not.
than just one song. So
hopefully not. I know that's the difficult part too. Is it's like, I mean, this you can't control how it gets built up, but it's like, I think part of the advantage of things taking a long time can be that is like, if you're having to build things very slowly off of an independent budget and like everything being a little more even keel, rather than like one hit, it just pops off. I think you can end up attracting in more of like a well-rounded crowd who actually likes you as an artist, rather than just like, oh, I heard your song in this movie one time, and that's the only song I want to hear from you. So that can be the benefit, I feel like, of some of the like niche market we have going on right now.
For sure. Well, cool.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks, John. This was great getting together and chatting it up. And,
Absolutely.
Know you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
A lot of stuff coming down the pike here for you.
Absolutely.
So people need to look around Christmas for some new music, and then 2026 sounds like a lot coming out.
Big one. Yeah, 2026 is a big one. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, John.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.
If you like this episode, check out all of our episodes on your favorite streaming platform,
or even our website, themittenmusic.com.
Or if you want short clips of our episodes, check out our socials.
We got Facebook,
We have Instagram,
we got TikTok,
and YouTube.
we're all over the social media game.
Make sure to check out some live Michigan music or listen on your favorite streaming platform.